Check 1 2 check. Check. Check 1 2.
Sorted out. We can't keep you waiting for so long. Let's start with the basics and then we'll join later. Once again, let me welcome you to this meeting, and we are going to start right now. Now, notice of the 7th Annual General Meeting. To all honorable members, dear members, in accordance with Article 12.1 of the NACOBA SACCO Constitution, notice is hereby given I notified him about that. Notice convening the annual general meeting by the chairman. Item 6, adopt the agenda of the annual general meeting by the chairman again. Self-introductions, we shall do that. We shall receive, consider, and adopt the chairman's report. We shall receive, review, and adopt minutes of the previous AGM. That is item number 9. Item 10, receive, review, and consider the audited accounts for financial year 2021. We shall receive, review, and approve 2022 financial budget. The treasurer will take us through that. We shall consider reappointment of auditors. Again, the treasurer will handle that. Item 13, resolutions of the meeting, which will be by the secretary. We shall do that. Item 14, recognition of members with outstanding performance and commissioning of the chairman's call. That will be done by me. Item 15, adjourn the meeting and have the closing prayer. We expect to have a business expo by some NACOBA SACCO members. So that is going to be our agenda. And can someone in the audience propose that we adopt it? You mention your name, and then we adopt the agenda. Anyone? Can someone propose that we adopt the agenda? Okay. Thank you, Alex. Anyone seconding him? The name? Okay. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Can you kindly pass on the microphone to members in the audience? Can we have an opening prayer? Opening prayer, Kasoma.
Let's humble ourselves in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for having enabled us gather here as members of the NACOBA SACCO. We pray for those who are still on their way to come and join us. Bless them so that they may reach safely, and then put on us a word of wisdom so that we may transact the business of this precious circle which we set up for our welfare. Bless all those who have not been able to make it and they are sick. And we ask you to protect us so that we may finish our transaction in peace and give more light for our circle so that it makes prosperity for the benefit of all the savers. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you so much for that prayer. Can we now move on to self-introductions? I request that we introduce ourselves this way. You tell us your name. Your occupation, the years you are in the college, the house, and that's it. Okay? So your name, occupation, time you're in the college, and your house. Starting with Mr. Kasoma.
Yeah. Rubega.
Kasoma.
Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Deo Rubega, and known as Kawuru. In NACOBA, I still serve as get-together prefect. I'm a tourism consultant, having played that game for 32 years as a consultant. I was in Namilyango 1975 to 1978 when Alhaji Field Marshal Dr. VCDSO was the president of Uganda, and I was a resident of the Great Maki House.
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm Alex Asimwe, Mukasa House, 1994-1999. I'm professionally a marketeer, though I'm in the field of ICT. I'm the current NACOBA president, and thank you.
You're most welcome, Alex. I should have introduced you, but you've eased my work. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, colleagues, members. Rogers Karebi is my name. I am an ICT expert, specifically in the IT-enabled services sector. In profession, it's called business process outsourcing. Currently, I'm the chairman of the Private Sector Association, that's for BP Association, and I run a private call center based in Naguru. I was in Namilyango from 1985 to 88. Feb 20th, specifically, and I can see some familiar faces at the high table. But I'm extremely excited. This is my first AGM because I've been procrastinating for such a long time to join the SACCO, but I finally bought into the idea, and now I'm a member of the SACCO. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and you're most welcome. Did you also say you're a fanatic of rallying? But we can leave that out. Okay.
Good morning, gentlemen. My name is David Kabara. Sometimes these people call me Tafi. I don't know why. I was in Namilian College from 1985 to 91, March. Actually, we were the last lot to do A-level exams in March. And I used to be in House Doyle in section D for O-level. But A-level, I was in room 14, and in A-level, I was in room 14 and room 6. For work, I do training consultancy with Airtel Uganda. I think that is it.
Thank you so much. David, you're welcome.
Good morning, members. Gilbert Amanya is my name. Campling House, 2004-2007. I do construction management and environmental consultancy.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, my name is Joe Jato Otim. I've been a big fan of Namyango College, but unfortunately I didn't go there. I'm here in the capacity of a corporate finance consultant and also an investment advisor. Thank you.
You're welcome, Otim.
Good morning, members. My name is Hilary Kisitu. I was in Namiliango from 2012 to 2017, and currently I'm at the SACCO as the accounts assistant. Thank you.
Welcome, Hilary. Bazanye, we don't know you. As well as Victor and Luke.
Andrew Bazanye, 2000-2007, Forensic House. Yes. I do business. Thank you.
I'm told you're raising cows.
Francis Lukchwanuka is my name. Hanlon House, 97-2002. I'm a librarian.
Welcome.
Good morning, members. Victor Bonica is my name. I was in Namiliango from 2006-2011. I was in Kaipa's house, and I'm an accountant by profession. I'm serving the SACCO as manager.
That is the gentleman who makes everything happen at the office. So you're most welcome, gentlemen. There are no ladies here. The lady outside is not part of the SACCO. So in the interest of time, members, we shall move ahead and let the executive introduce itself as well, starting with the secretary.
Good morning, gentlemen. Sola Bok, Rising House, 20th Feb, 1985. Currently, I am working with Prudential Uganda as a financial advisor, and I'm the secretary of the SACCO. Thank you.
Good morning, gentlemen. Feb 20th, 1985 to 91. My name is Dennis Owor. I'm currently working in Naro as director audit. Yeah, and I'm the treasurer of NACOBA. Thank you. Oh, of course, the only house that is Doyle, house upper.
And it was my house captain.
Good morning, friends. Eugene Tananga is my name. I serve here as your vice president. Namiliango 94-97, House Kaipas. I'm an economist and investment advisor. By trade, I work in the as a consultant in the DFI World donor community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. And lastly but not least, I emphasize that my name is Mpalanyi Edward. I was in Namilyango right from P1, but for the sake of the SACCO, Kinda, yes, I was in Namilyango from 1988 up to 94. I don't belong to the 20th February class. And hope you don't want to overtake this SACCO. I was in House Doyle, and he was my captain, the best ever captain, with Mr. Mgulumaza, our headmaster, as our house master before he became headmaster. And I'm serving you as the SACCO chairman. You're most welcome. By profession, I'm a consultant as well. I'm a trainer, financial literacy, as well as customer experience management. Thank you so much for coming. Now, we're not going to waste any more time. We are moving according to the agenda. All of you have got the magazines. We are going straight into the chairman's report. Kindly lend me your ears. Chairman's report. It's on page 6, those who have the booklets. Dear members, on behalf of the SACCO executive, allow me to welcome you all to this 7th annual general meeting. Let me welcome you back from a very, very trying lockdown period where lives and livelihoods almost came to a standstill due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I urge you to keep taking precaution and observe the necessary SOPs as the virus is not yet completely done. I thank you for having given me and the executive a chance and privilege of serving you, and pledge that I shall continue serving you diligently till the term ends. Let me take this opportunity to thank the executive committee, my colleagues, other committees. We do have other committees apart from the executive committee. Let me take this opportunity to thank the executive committee, other committees, and the administrative staff for working tirelessly towards the success of the SACCO. I pass on our sincere condolences to all those who lost their dear ones. May God rest their souls in eternal peace. These ones include our former headmaster, Mr. Peregrine Chibuka, and so many of our colleagues. Let me use this chance to let us have a minute of silence in honor of our fallen colleagues. May God rest their souls in eternal peace. Amen. 2021 financial performance. Despite a depressed economic period occasioned by the long corona pandemic disruption, the SACCO has continued to grow financially. The performance is worth celebrating because we managed to exceed our targeted net worth. We met all our obligations as they fell due and had enough reserves to meet members' loan requests. This was due to the efficiency and effectiveness of the executive, administrative staff, and you, the members, who kept saving and borrowing. Some key highlights. The SACCO membership has grown by 10.1% from 368 members to 405. Members' savings have grown by 45.5%. From 1.561 billion to Uganda shillings 2.272 billion. I think that's worth clapping for. The loan book has grown by 54.6% from Uganda shillings 1.054 billion to Uganda shillings 1.630 billion. Investment in short-term funds has grown by 25.9%. From Uganda shillings 733 million to Uganda shillings 923 million. The share capital has grown by 5.9% from Uganda shillings 43.7 million to Uganda shillings 46.3 million. The total asset base has grown by 48.2% from Uganda shillings 1.864 billion to Uganda shillings 2.763 billion. And the return on members' savings has grown by 70% from 6.4% to 10%. Now that is quite remarkable given the very trying period, and the pandemic really made it so difficult because of the lockdown. Okay, the lockdown rendered businesses it rendered businesses unable to perform. Now, for those who have the report, I've given you a summary. You can see that table. We just want to show you how much we've progressed. The SACCO has been growing year by year. Okay, you can see the financial year 2019, how we performed. Our performance improved in 2020. 2021, we took it a notch higher. And then on the last column on the right, you can see the financial performance or the percentages for the financial year 2021. So this is testament that the SACCO is not retarded, it's not stunted, but growing from year to year, of course with your support. Now we've also made it easy for those who want the graphs. We have the graphics, as you can see, but the information is in the key highlights as I've read for you. So that is just for ease of understanding the report. But let's kind of go to page 8. Growth in membership, 10%. We registered 27 new members and reactivated 9 dormant accounts. That represents a growth of 10.1% from 368 members in 2020 to 405 members currently in 2021. I once again welcome the new members to this great financial train and urge you all to be ambassadors of our SACCO. Look out for all alumni who have not yet joined. Our strength will greatly rely on bigger and more vibrant membership. Now, members, as we talk about the membership, you're all aware that Namilyango College is the oldest college in this country. We have thousands and thousands of people who have passed through the college. So it's not acceptable that we can have a SACCO with below 500 members. So I urge you all to bring one member, bring a relative, bring a friend who passed through the great gates of the college so that our SACCO becomes bigger. Now, growth in savings, that is 52.1%. Courtesy of the weekly NACOBA Harambe, overall savings have grown by 52.1%. That is from Uganda shillings 1.175 billion in 2020 to Uganda shillings 1.788 billion currently. This has greatly contributed to the great performance exhibited since we had enough funds to lend your members. No member, as long as you qualified, you got your money, okay, in terms of loans. We encourage you to keep saving. We encourage you to keep saving, and it should be a culture for you. Now, I will wish to mention, members, the impact of the NACOSAVE, that weekly NACOSAVE. Please don't get tired of my messages. That has greatly improved members' savings. We've had people who come and contribute a lot of money. Without it, the savings wouldn't be as big as they are. So kindly continue, because that is your money and it can only grow. Again, we have the graphs for those who want the graphs. That's just an illustration of what I'm talking about. Page 10, we have the loan age analysis schedule. This is just to show you how the loans are moving. We have the number of loans, the age period, what principal amount there is, and also the interest and the totals as well. This is just to show you a detail of how the loans are moving, okay? And it's for your information as well. Now, non-performing loans, which stand at Uganda shillings 98.5 million. We wish to inform you that 7 members have not come good on their loan repayments as scheduled. The total outstanding balance on these loans is Uganda shillings 98.5 million. The SACCO, through her legal advocate, wrote and served the demand notices to each of these members and gave them up to 30th April 2022 to come good on their loan payments. Failure to comply, the law will take its course. Okay? This shows you how serious we are. We really want to use your money prudently, okay, so that it makes more money. So any defaults, this is not a social circle. You're serious people, you save your money, and you want a return on investment. So we are taking this step not in bad faith, but to make sure that the money is used prudently, and everyone honors their obligations as they fall due. Achievements. Despite the challenging period of COVID-19, the SACCO has grown significantly. We have registered a number of achievements. One, we partnered with NSSF, where they agreed to equip our members with financial literacy knowledge through talks from seasoned and experienced and knowledgeable presenters. We urge you to embrace and participate in these virtual sessions, whose dates will be communicated to you. Members, as you've been aware, right now there are so many financial literacy talks going on. The COVID pandemic exposed all of us as a country and the world. Yeah, it exposed us as people who don't save money, we don't invest wisely, we don't prepare for retirement. You've seen how people are really moving with their NSSF. Okay, so banks, financial institutions, SACCOs have made it deliberate that their members get this financial education to make them make better decisions in the future. So we intend to make this big this coming year, and please, once we call upon you, make sure that you attend these training sessions, and most of them are going to be virtual. Okay, so please embrace them. They are absolutely important. Number two, we are able to carry out a comprehensive share valuation exercise whose details are contained in the appendix, and I'm going to give you more details about that because it's one of the things that we are going to resolve today. Despite the prolonged lockdown period because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we prudently invested your funds wisely and we are frugal in our spending, which has resulted into a good return on your investment. Okay? Of course, the year has had challenges as well. Challenges. A subdued macroeconomic environment forced many members not to take out loan products as had been anticipated or projected. On top of this, of course, the savings also reduced for some members because they were incapacitated. Okay? We don't work in an island. If the economy is not doing well, it means all sectors are not doing well, including the SACCO, as you must have experienced. Number two, investment limitations of SACCOs due to the regulatory framework. The SACCO regulatory framework restricts SACCOs from investing in some business ventures which would otherwise have earned us more profits and a higher interest return. Now let me expound on this. SACCOs, when government set up these SACCOs, its major aim is to protect the members. Okay? They don't look mostly about the investments, but their number one priority as the regulatory authority is to protect members' what? Savings. Now, because of that, it restricts us from doing certain things that otherwise would make a lot of money for us. Things like buying chunks of land, investing in real estate, and many of these investment clubs have made a lot of money out of that. So unless the law is changed, we can't invest in some things that we feel can make a lot of money. But there's a clause for us, okay? We can turn our SACCO into a multi-purpose SACCO, and I'm going to expound that on that later. Savings withdrawals have increased by 249.8% from Uganda shillings 71.4 million in 2020 to 249.8 million in 2021. We encourage members to instead borrow our cheap personal loans as opposed to pulling out their savings investment. Of course, this was partly because of the COVID. People felt that, you know what, for me to rejuvenate my business, for me to start this and that, I have my command in the SACCO. So some of them just withdrew their savings, and we are obliged to give them their money, which we did. But of course, we discourage this, and we have mitigating reasons and factors, as I will explain later. Then savings offsets to pay loans have increased by 20% from Uganda shillings 692.9 million in 2020 to Uganda shillings 838 million in 2021. We encourage members to borrow and invest wisely so as to pay off loans from other sources other than savings. Again, this was a low-hanging fruit from members, okay? They felt like if Edward takes out a loan of 100 million and I have 120 on my savings, please use the 100 million to pay off the what? My loan. That's not a good practice, okay? And we discourage it. We try to encourage you to make sure that you invest your money so that it makes more money for you. That is the rule of thumb, okay? It's a very weak financial management practice for you to use your savings to pay off your loans, because the idea is you borrow this money so that you can invest it to make more money for you. That is the rule of thumb. Then dormant members. We have 125 dormant savers who are not adding any value to the SACCO. Okay? Again, we shall tell you what we want to do. Now, key are the proposed amendments to the SACCO bylaws. 1, revaluation of shareholding. As resolved in the last AGM, we are able to do a comprehensive share valuation. Our share per value has increased from Uganda shillings 20,000 to 90,000 Uganda shillings. We therefore propose and recommend that 1, the share per value of Uganda shillings 90,000 be adopted with a minimum of 5 shares per member, equivalent to 450,000 Uganda shillings. 2, the maximum number of shares for any member be kept capped at 170 shares, which is equivalent to 15,300,000. Now, that one is 30% of the share capital as per the SACCO bylaws. Now, that one is very important for you members to allay your fears that some members may buy too many shares and run away with our SACCO. That can't happen because the bylaws provide for that. No member can take more than 30% of the share capital. So your SACCO is guaranteed. No one is going to own it. Okay? 3, the new joining fee becomes a minimum of 5 shares worth 450,000, a minimum savings deposit of 50,000, which it is currently, and a membership fee of only 10,000 shillings, which is holding up to now. Then number 4, the minimum joining requirement on shares may be paid either at once or within a period not exceeding 6 months. Now, what that means, members, is that, of course, someone may say, you've increased to 450,000, it's a lot of money. So we are giving members a leeway because we are serving our members. Yeah? If you can and you can afford, you can pay that in a lump sum once. But if you can't afford it at once, we are giving you a window of between 1 and 6 months so that you can pay in installments and finish up. This is a very, very, very good proposal because we want to take our SACCO to bigger heights. If we don't do this, we shall run out of funds. Okay? Because members are withdrawing their savings, others want to pay their loans using their savings again, which is very, very dangerous for the SACCO. So this one will give you more shareholding in the SACCO, okay, as well as making sure that we always have enough money to run the SACCO. Because you remember, you don't withdraw your shares. You can only transfer them, for those of you who know these things, okay? So this is a very good proposal as well. Now, revision of the SACCO loan interest rates. Now, what we did, members, is that we carried out a very, very thorough research which was comprehensive about the interest rates. Now, one of the things that we discovered is that our interest rates were not well formulated, okay? We worked with the committee responsible, the credit committee. We worked with the executive committee as well as the administrative staff. And we listened to so many of you members because many people were complaining that some of the interest rates are very high, they're not favorable. So what we did a mix. We had to resolve and change a few of those loan products. And the table is conclusive there. I may not read everything, but for the personal loans, previously they've been at 36% per annum, 24% per annum, and 18% depending on the loan amount. We propose that the new interest rate be 15% per annum on fully cash-covered personal loans, 18% per annum on personal loans, partially secured by the savings and collateral. Of course, we had justification for all this. We never came out of the blue. We debated and we benchmarked with other SACCOs as well as other financial institutions that we are in the same category. Okay? So the justification is on that last column. For business loans, from 15% per annum to 17% per annum. Construction loan, 17% per annum to 20% per annum with that justification. Salary loan, 15% to 20% per annum. Land loan, 15% to 17% per annum. School fees loan, 24% per annum as the old rate to 15% per annum. And then lastly but not least, your famous Kagwirao loan from 10% per month to 7% per month. Okay? That one was also borrowed. I hear other people are adopting the Kagwirao loan as well. So if we had patented, we would be making a lot of money. So members, we put this into consideration. 1, we don't want to burden you as members because we are trying to make things as easy as possible for you. Then secondly, we also look at the investments. The SACCO has to make money for you, okay? So we balanced up those two aspects. One, we consider our client, you the members, but as well as the SACCO, which has to make money. And we benchmarked, we did a lot of research. Now, our proposed amendments to the NACOBA SACCO savings policy. Now, the executive committee proposes and recommends the following. 1, a cap on savings withdrawals. Every member shall have access to one savings withdrawal in a quarter. Okay? Number 2, savings withdrawal charge. The savings withdrawal charge be increased from 2% to 5% of the amount being withdrawn. 3, minimum savings balance. The minimum savings balance be increased from Uganda shillings 100,000 to Uganda shillings 600,000. All this is aimed at protecting the SACCO, as I alluded to earlier, where members were taking out SACCO into a multi-purpose SACCO. We are going to do more research on how we can turn the SACCO into a more profitable venture by exploring the pros and cons of turning into a multi-purpose SACCO. We haven't yet done this, but we have our ears on the ground. We are trying to compare. We've been in consultation with SACCOs that have done this. We are studying the market to see how we can strengthen this SACCO, because we want to move with the times. We don't want to stay stagnant. But we shall be informing you on developments, but kindly have it in mind that we want to turn this SACCO into a multi-purpose SACCO. 2, financial literacy. We will continue to engage experts to train you on how to become financially independent, to enable you make sound and informed financial decisions. As I explained earlier, members, this is very, very crucial, especially in this trying time where the economy is not doing so well. You want to spend your money wisely, you want to spend well, you want to invest well. Besides, you want to prepare for your retirement well. Okay? So all these things tie into the financial literacy. So once these training sessions start, we shall encourage all of you to attend them religiously. Then financial management system. We are on the lookout for a core financial management system that will not only enable you have instant visibility of your savings and loan obligations, but also monitor the SACCO performance throughout the financial year and ease manual reconciliations. This is absolutely important. We're in the digital age. We want you guys to, we want you members to be able to check your statements on demand so that you see how you're doing, and also to check how the SACCO is doing. So we are on the lookout for that. Then lastly, we want to increase the SACCO membership. We are going to carry out a massive recruitment drive to enable us double our numbers. As I said earlier, we are the oldest college, so we have a big catchment area. We are into our thousands and thousands. It's not acceptable that we have a SACCO that has less than 500 members. So we shall roll out this exercise, and we hope it will be very successful. Lastly but not least, reward and recognition. The highest saver and customer for the financial year 2021 is Mr. Bernard Owundo. Is Bernard around? Oh, I think he deserves it. He has done this for the second year running. We want to reward people who have done so well. I wish to thank Bernard Owundo for choosing NACOBA SACCO as his institution of choice for financial needs. I also urge all of you members to double your savings this year and apply for our revised and well-priced loan products. We rely on you to perform, and I know you will come to the task. Proposed interest and dividend payments for 2021. The Executive Committee proposes a total interest payment of 200 million for the financial year ended 31st December 2020-2021 on members' savings. Now, this represents an annual return of 10% as compared to 6.4% for the previous year. The interest will be paid to savings accounts of members whose savings balance is Uganda shillings 600,000 and above. Members whose loans are in default will have their interest credited on their loan accounts. As is the practice, the SACCO will withhold the NACOBA annual subscription for the financial year 2021 from members that are not paid the same to NACOBA by closure of the financial year 2021. We also propose a dividend payment of Uganda shillings 4.637 thousand to the shareholders, which is a statutory 10% of the share capital as at 31st December 2021 of Uganda shillings 46,370,000. Appreciation. NACOBA SACCO is nothing without you members. Thank you for choosing us as your reliable financial partner. It is with sincere gratitude that I appreciate and thank my colleagues on the executive board, members of the different committees, as well as the SACCO administrative staff, Victor Bwanika and Juliet Nakawoya, for tirelessly working towards the success of the SACCO. It has been a very trying period, members. Things have been very, very tight, but they've tried and have done their best. Let me inform you that Juliet Ashley Nakawoya, our accounts and finance manager, left us for greener pastures. We thank her for adding value to the SACCO during the time she worked with us. Let us warmly welcome Hilary Kisitu. Hilary, are you around? Can you kindly stand up for recognition? That is Hilary Kisitu. Baki House. That small house below Doyle. So Hilary is an OB, and he went through interviews. We made sure that he's a professional person, and he has replaced Ashley. We hope that he will take over where Ashley left and take the SACCO to even greater heights. Let us use today's AGM meeting opportunity to network. We have some SACCO branded items to buy at subsidized prices. Take advantage and buy them. The proceeds from the sales will be plowed back into the SACCO. May God bless you all abundantly. Individually we prosper, collectively we succeed. Nisi Dominus. So thank you so much, members. But before I end this, we invited the consultant who helped us with the share valuation. I would like to give him 5 to 10 minutes to just give us just highlights, okay, of what he did. We're also lucky that one of our own, Moses Sebugwao, is Moses around? Yes, Moses is there. Moses is our former treasurer. He helped us supervise this exercise. You see, it has been back and forth. So this time we made sure that it passes, and we tied all the loose ends. Moses, thank you so much. From Camplin. So I don't know what happens to other houses that haven't been mentioned. Mukasa and the rest. Kaipas. So thank you so much. Our team, Mr. Tim, kindly get the mic. And we are giving you only 5 minutes, or between 5 and 10, to just take us through highlights of what you did, because this is going to be passed today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Yeah, for those that got here a little bit late, my name is George Tim. As contracted by the SACCO to conduct a valuation exercise and then also to advise them on a couple of things relating to generally the treatment of interest, dividends, etc. And I'm glad that you've actually adopted them in your chairman address. So literally how SACCOs operate is that in a nutshell you're offering, loans to the members, but then ideally you need an adequate capital base in order to ensure that in case you have non-performing loans, like you mentioned, of 98.5, that the SACCO doesn't end up being in a distressed situation. So in that case, we went through the exercise and then established that there is some additional money that needs to be put into the SACCO to hit its growth targets. And in that case, equity, where you have shareholders in the SACCO, it will generally just help the business take on more profitable ventures, as well as absorb any sort of risk. And then also it's more rewarding, because if you're a member, you'd be entitled to the interest payments alone, but as a shareholder, you'd get definitely returns on your in terms of interest, and then you'd receive dividends as well. So it's quite rewarding for someone who is going to be a shareholder in the SACCO. Then lastly, through the exercise, we came up with a share price of about 88, but it was rounded off for ease to 88,000. It was rounded off to 90,000. Then as a bare minimum, the SACCO is supposed to raise 250 million, assuming every member currently, I think there are 405 members. If you subscribed for the 5 shares as a minimum, you'd get to about 185, but I'm definitely sure that everyone in this room would be subscribing for more than 5. So I wish you all the best, and I'm glad that I've participated in the growth of one of the oldest schools, colleges in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, George. George worked so well with us. We learned so much from him as well that will benefit the SACCO. And before I open up the debate on the chairman's report, I wish to remind Moses Sebugwao. You remember last AGM, you promised that if we get it right this time, you'll buy the 170 shares. Yes, please. just to remind you. We have the transcript. You said you'll just cap it up and buy all the shares. But members, I encourage you to do that. So thank you so much, Mr. Tim, and you can leave at leisure if you want. Your job is done. Members, the chairman's report is up for debate. Do you want any questions, any comments about what has transpired or what is written in the chairman's report? Because those things are going to be adopted as the resolutions for this meeting. Any clarification, any question? Yes, Moses?
Chairman, thank you very much for a wonderful report. I think everybody knows that I'm Moses Sebugwao, the former treasurer of the SACCO. Chairman, first of all, let me thank the committee for a job well done. Thank you very much. The 200 million interest, we cannot take it for granted. 10% of our savings is quite remarkable. We thank you very much. I have 2 comments relating to your report and your proposed resolutions. They are interrelated, I should say. One is on the withdrawals, savings withdrawals, and the charge which you propose to increase from 2% to 5%. Chairman, there are reasons why we joined the SACCO. I'm going to equate joining the SACCO to climbing a tree. When you climb a tree, eventually you have to come down. It is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when you come down. So anybody who joins the SACCO, at one time, we will need those savings to be withdrawn. Of course, as a SACCO, we are concerned if that person is offsetting loans, is withdrawing the savings too soon. But it is a matter of when. So what I'm saying, Chairman, is I think savings withdrawals is inevitable at some stage. Yesterday we celebrated our brother, Panta Kasoma. If, for example, Panta came and said he wanted his savings, why would you punish Panta, surely, for withdrawing his savings and charge him 5%? Because all of us, at one time, we are going to need those savings. We are saving for a cause, and when we make 90, we'll come and withdraw the savings to help us. So, in short, Mr. Chairman, what I'm saying, yes, we need to punish people who withdraw savings prematurely. But there must be a provision for people to withdraw their savings. Take the example of NSSF. We can borrow a leaf from there. At a certain stage, you have to withdraw your funds. So I think as a committee, look at the times when somebody has to withdraw their savings and make those clear. Anybody withdrawing outside those limitations then should be penalized. I think I wanted to make that clear. Let's not penalize for purposes of penalizing everybody who is withdrawing. We must have clear guidelines on when savings can be withdrawn. And anything outside of that should be punished. I know my brother there, Kawuri, is looking at me. Why would you punish him for withdrawing his savings? So I think let's make that clear. So I would want, Chairman, that you take that into account. And I wouldn't want to approve the resolution as it is. I think I would want to amend it that the savings withdrawal charge is increased from 5%, except those allowed as per the criteria you're going to give, Mr. Chairman. I can see you want to comment, but I said I had 2 points. So that is the first one. The second one, Mr. Chairman, in the challenges, you mentioned 125 dormant accounts. This one is not really yours, but it is for us members. I think when we started this SACCO, it was a uniting factor. And we wanted also to keep something for ourselves when we grow into an age where we don't have income. Yesterday when I received the register, I looked at the first 20 members because I have all the names off my head of the first 20 members. And I saw our member 001 had, I think, 100,000 in savings. Imagine a member 001, the first member on the register, having 100,000. So I actually picked up a phone and called this member. And I said, my brother, you are number 1 on our list. How can you embarrass the SACCO like this? After a few minutes of talking, the man told me he's going to make a deposit this week of around 3 million. And this responsibility of mobilizing our brothers is with us. The only, of course, bad thing is people don't know the names because you no longer attach names to the numbers. But somebody with 30,000 of savings and is member number 24, surely this is the person who joined in 2015. Why would you have 30,000 in savings? So, Chairman, I've taken it upon me, the first 30 members, I have them off head. Anybody who is below 1 million, I'm going to call them and ensure that this year they activate their accounts. And all of us should do the same and try to encourage our members to save. The committee is also overwhelmed. They can't call everybody, but let's try, all of us, to mobilize our brothers to save. Chairman, those are the 2 comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Moses. Maybe let me start with the second one. Thank you so much for sharing that responsibility. We don't need dormant account members, really. We want people who are active, and that's how the SACCO can grow. So we're going to do everything we can, mobilize members to make sure that they are active, as well as others joining the SACCO. Then about the withdrawal charges, first of all, Moses, I want you to not to use the word punishing. It's not really punishing. It's not punishing members, no. That's why actually the 2% is there. And it happens in other financial institutions as well. There are a number of, I don't want to call them punitive, but measures that are taken for people not to have blanket leeway, especially if it's a danger to the SACCO. But Moses, again, being a former treasurer and a very distinguished member of this SACCO, I would want you to help us with can you propose a percentage which is more acceptable, okay? And a criteria probably, because we want to conclude this today. Because the 2% was already there, and of course it had legendary reasons why it was put. We didn't want to punish members, but we're just making sure that we are prudent enough to make sure that you came a little bit late. You were delayed, sorry. But if you look at the percentages, really, if we are not stringent enough, people were withdrawing their savings left, right, and center. You don't want to have a shell for a SACCO, really. So we don't want to punish members, but we are trying to balance up things. What is really, really prudent enough for the SACCO that won't punish members, as you said. So I would just wish if you could propose maybe a percentage and other mitigating factors so that we can close this. Yes, Chairman Henry?
I think I can propose a solution. Henry Katongole is my name, KIPAS 1996. Like you mentioned, picking a leaf from NSSF, one of the criteria we could use is the age. We could throw in 50 years of age. You can actually get your savings without any charge. Then we could maybe leave the 5% for anybody below that age bracket. But I would also like to suggest that in addition to the option of withdrawing, we will also look at a product where a member who is made 50 years going forward could actually be able to get monthly income or something monthly from the SACCO. It's a product that is used, I think, in the insurance industry and in other sectors, but that is something we can look at as an option, so that still we don't have to lose that money when someone hits 50 at a go. I think that's my take.
Moses? Okay, in a minute.
Chairman, I think among the exceptions, age is a very good factor to consider, and we can debate the age, whether 50 or 60, but the person who is really aged enough should be able to access without a charge. The other one, if somebody has been incapacitated, surely, a member wants to get savings to go and treat incapacitated, we should also allow that member to draw his savings without a charge. So we can have a criteria of like 3 exceptions where the charge won't apply. But I agree we can retain the 5%, because we also need to make sure members don't just come to withdraw their savings. So, Chairman, maybe we might not make the decisions now. We might give you a few days to go and think through exceptions where there will be no charge for withdrawing. Thank you.
Good morning. Through you, Chairman. I'm your Vice Chairman, and a bit more closer to the investment. Thank you very much, Mr. Sebugwawa and Mr. Katongole. Those are very good thoughts to think about. I would like to suggest and ask if we could choose 3 members because we don't have all the knowledge. If we could choose 3 members from the audience that could interact with us to come up with that criteria. And we could even set for us to determine this in the next 2 weeks so that they can interact with the executive, and we come back through our forum on how we have concluded that matter. Are 3 members now willing to maybe... Yes, I think Mr. Katongole and Mr. Sebugwawa have already... You have been nominated. 1 more member? Thank you very much. So I'll reach out and we set a date, and then you interact with us to come up with that criteria. And your views, the 3 of you are going to represent the views of the rest of the members. Then we conclude that matter. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vice Chairman. So the percentage remains, but now the criteria. We shall work with you, gentlemen, and then just pass over the communication to the members. So thank you so much for those deliberations. Anything more in the chairman's report? Yes, just mention your name and house and just go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. George Sechiranda, member 0056, Beer Months, 2005-2010.
My comment is about the interest rates that have been proposed to be changed. Like for the salary loan, moving from 15% to 20%, and then the land loan from 15 to 17%, business from 15 to 17%. In my perspective, we come to the SACCO because of various reasons, and one of those is for personal growth at rates that are favorable to us and efficient within the economy. But with the upping of the interest rates, my perspective would be like we are going more of the commercial way so that people can earn interest, yet backsliding on the personal growth that people get from having access to favorable financial rates in terms of financing. My view would be maintaining the status quo on the interest rates as they have been, because they have been working for us. There have been competitive products, better than those we would get from other places like banks. We also have to put into the perspective that even the other places where people work from have SACCOs that they're operating. So how competitive are our rates as based on the other smaller SACCOs within the communities where we're working from? 15% on a personal perspective has been working for me because it's good and competitive enough. But at 20%, I believe I will be overburdened, and yet I'll be overburdened to get financing to do my activities in the thought that I would earn interest at the end of the day. But I believe personal growth would be better than earning the high interest. Thank you very much.
Okay, the vice, is it related to that, Abba? No, is it related to that, or it's different?
Thank you, George. We hear you, and this was even the exact reasons why this exercise was undertaken. We took a lot of time. I think actually, to be honest, this was the plus the share valuation was one of the things that we spent a lot of time on. So we did a very exhaustive benchmarking exercise. We looked at what the other SACCOs are doing. We looked at what other MFIs closer to SACCOs are doing. We also thought we not only sit here, but we're also part of that audience. Our money is also at stake. So we're also thinking, what is a member's interest in saving with a SACCO? What do they want to get out of? How can we make a value proposition for them? There are two aspects one looks at. A is saving and may not want to borrow, and they're using this as a vehicle for their saving. So we also need to make a value proposition for them why they should save with us vis-a-vis all the other multitude of options they could have. So you park that one in one corner. Then the second part of that is to look at the person borrowing. What is also options? So we also want to make a value proposition for that person, that they choose us as their financial institution for their financial growth. Then also we looked at our portfolio. Where is the most interest? Personal loans, construction loan, business loan, Kagwirao, and these other products. Then we looked at the criteria under those. So for instance, what you mentioned, actually personal loans, which happens to be the most popular loan, which started off at 15%. However, it was 15% per annum for anything over 50 million. So I bet you, or most people, were actually not borrowing at 15%. They were borrowing at 36%. For anything I think zero, Mr. Bwanika, correct me where I get anything wrong. I think 0 to 9 million, you are borrowing at 36%. Then I think 10 million to in between 20 and 50, you are borrowing at 24% per annum. So then we looked at that and then we said, okay, a personal loan, what is the risk and how can we price that risk? So we looked at if somebody is pledging their savings as collateral, meaning the risk is almost not there, why should we then give them different rates because of the amount? So then we made it uniform that for personal loans, as much as it is secured by your savings, the rate should be standard. It should be increased a little bit from 15, actually should be dropped massively to 17%, but across. Because that's also where most people are borrowing. And I think it makes a lot of value, even when you look at the competition. Because remember what I submitted, there are two parts to the equation. There is the saver who wants also a return. Then there is me borrowing, also who needs to pay moderately a fair price. Then we looked at the business loans. Again, we thought that there was a bit of disconnect because business loans actually had come in at even cheaper than personal loans, whereas the risk in them was much higher. So we dropped that a bit, but made it, again, relatively fair. Then also salary loan, again, what was driving us there was risk. If Eugene comes and is borrowing and says he works for company AXY, and then I give him a loan, and tomorrow he loses that job, there is the risk that he may not be able to pay me, and I may not have control of that repayment source because probably bank somewhere else. So we looked at the metrics of all these things. Then what also motivated us very much, which why we also want to champion the land product very much, was a lot of us, a lot of our young people need to start acquiring land for their personal growth so that there is a story to be told that I got a piece of land through the SACCO, through the support of the SACCO. So we have really looked at that. Where can somebody borrow? How much can we lend them on a, for instance, on a land product? And we feel if you can give us 30% of a land, of a good land, we can give you up to 70% of the amount. You acquire that land, as we all know very well, most land within about 30 kilometer radius of Kampala or cities, 10 kilometers from other cities, is growing. Meaning, if you pay the SACCO 17%, probably within even 1 year, 2 years, that land will have doubled. You benefit, the SACCO benefits. And I think it's at, through the metrics we've done and a lot of study we've done, we think that is priced very well. School loans, it's really almost the same as a personal loan. It's priced at 15%. Kagwirao loan has been dropped. So in summary, we have thought about you when we are coming up with these recommendations. And we think we have really undertaken a very extensive, exhaustive exercise to come up with these things that are very well informed. Managing risk, managing return for the member saver and the SACCO. And I think one would say this is really something very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chairman, Vice President. Maybe to add on to what he has just said, we have a provision in our bylaws of monitoring what's going on, okay? The way we came up with these revisions, we are monitoring, we are going to see how they are going to work with members, the uptake, yeah? We are going to look at the macro environment, we see how other SACCOs are doing it. In case there's a chance that we can revise them, either upwards or downwards, depending on the mood, depending on the membership uptake, depending on the macroeconomic environment, we shall still come back to you and let you know. Yes? Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I think it was about 2016 or 2015 when we had just started. And there was a very, very, very big challenge in uptake of loans. And the biggest factor that time was to do with the interest rates. So I think from about 2019, 2020, the interest rates went down and the demand shot extremely high. Probably I would also urge that you give it the historical perspective and look back at the years. Where was the challenge? The focus on making so much sometimes doesn't make the best. Thank you.
George, I just offered, you see, in any financial verbiage, one gets lost in a lot of the writing there. Interest rates have actually come down. What you didn't know before, which I'm telling you, I welcome you to even look deeper. Interest rates were not 15%. You are not paying 15%. They were banded by the loan amount you're borrowing. The effective interest rate most people were paying was around 24% on personal loans. Perhaps Mr. Bwanika come and talk about those bands and the interest rates that were and where we are. So we have made everything uniform and dropped them. Before, the person getting 15% was somebody borrowing 50 million plus. Yes, Bwanika, please clarify this matter for us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Vice Chairman. Yes, members, maybe to clarify on the interest rates, we had personal loans, and they were the most taken out loans. And those ones, we had three bands for the personal loans. That is from 500,000 to 9.9 million. We were charging it at 3% per month, which is 36% per annum. Then between 10 million to 49.9, we were charging 2% per month, which is 24% per annum. Then above 50 million of personal loans, we were charging at 14% per annum. So now we asked ourselves, where is the risk on personal loans? Mr. Katongo has 10 million and he wants to take a loan of 8 million, fully cash covered. Where is the risk? So we're asking ourselves, Mr. Katongole, who has 10 million, how would you empower him to take a loan, a fully cash covered loan of 8 million, and not take a savings withdrawal of the same amount? So that's when we bring in, we try to reduce the interest rates on the personal loans. Now, again, the reason as to why most members were opting for the personal loans is because they were running away from the requirements on the business loans, construction loans, salary loans. They're running away from that requirement. And then those requirements help us to mitigate risk. So that is why we tried to rebalance the business loans, salary loans, and construction loans, and then reduce the personal loans, because most members are taking personal loans. And now then, members, I want to again also communicate this. While you may compare NACOBA SACCO to the staff SACCOs where you're working from, a staff SACCO is there is no risk. There's no risk of default. Loans, there's zero risk of default for staff SACCOs. Now you have to look at what is the membership of NACOBA. Gentlemen employed across all spheres of life. Gentlemen living all over the globe. You may not be in touch with all of them. So the risk of membership in NACOBA SACCO, our membership is more risky than the house finance membership, than the CPA SACCO membership, than the Uganda Bank Association membership, than the 212 SACCO membership. It is our membership is more risky. So that is why we are pricing the loans the way we are pricing the members. Thank you so much.
Was the plan pricing clear? That actually we are moving from a higher number to a lower number?
George, the last...
That was a fact. It was not a...
Maybe to help clarify for George, thank you. I'll introduce myself when. It's because when my turn comes. I think it's because previously they used to charge the loans per month, and now they are per annum. So when you convert per month to per annum, they are actually higher, what Vice Chairman has been trying to say. But you get time and look at them individually, you realize that actually the rates are a bit lower.
By more than 10 points. Less by 10 points.
I've taken the salary loan for the past 3 years, every year. I think my rate has been 15%. So at least for that, I'm sure. From the time of President Katongole, when the rates were lowered, we've been taking at 15% per annum. We didn't have bands for that. Yeah.
Yeah, for the salary loan, you're right. But we're talking about the personal loan, and then we are also, Victor submitted very well regarding the risks inherent in the salary loan. You see, our fiduciary duty is to protect everyone. You may be a good gentleman, no doubt. He may not. My job is to make sure that he's not a risk taker. I'm protecting you from him. Hence this thinking.
Members, let me request that just as the Vice President and also Victor alluded to, we took a lot of time to study and compare notes and come up with this. We compared with other SACCOs of similar kind. But one thing I can assure you, let's give it a chance. Let's see how, because we keep monitoring. Yeah, if we see the uptake is almost absolutely zero, definitely we come back to you and tell you guys, you know what, this is not working out. So George, one thing I can assure you is that it's been comprehensive. We've compared notes. We are both taking cognizant of the fact that we have you, our member, who is borrowing. We're also taking cognizant of the SACCO itself. Okay. So once things change, once things are not working out, and another very important thing for you to note as well is that we have your voice as well. People always give us comments and compliment us where it's necessary. They commend, they criticize us. So we are listening executive. So once things are not working so well, depending on the changes, we shall definitely come back to you and make the appropriate changes. I don't know if that can close this interest rates business. George? So, Abba, sorry.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, members. Chairman, pardon us for entering the room. Well, a few people entered the room late, but we had come earlier and were down discussing. My name is Andrew Baguma, aka Abba, House Beermans, 1987 to 90. And I am the pioneer mobilizing secretary of the SACCO. Reason we're late, we're talking about the weekly savings, NACOSAVE. And we're saying how it is unique to our SACCO, and it has really grown our savings and the portfolio. So thank you for that initiative, the committee. And my comment now is about mobilizing new members coming into the SACCO. And you talked about having a strategy, but you weren't specific. And being a pioneer mobilizer myself, I remember there was a lot we had to do. We had to go to members individually, not just using the social media. I got to know a lot of OBs because I used to go to people's offices back then. Anyway, I was even still jobless, so. But I had time for the SACCO to move and mobilize wananchi. So probably we shall need to find that strategy you're talking about. And we need to go back to the association, because the association is a good hunting ground. Okay, we have to drum about the SACCO, not only the executive or the SACCO members, but also the association executive. We have legends like Bazanye, who has been a mobilizer for aeon years. So we can still utilize him and the different members. So that is on mobilization, because we really need more new members. Then the other comment is about you talked about the SACCO becoming a multi-purpose venture. I think given the debate on the interest rates, the debate is caused by the different products that we have. You talked of land, salary, and so on. So you find as a multi-purpose venture, it could help to, castigate and clear the air about this. I think we have reached that level where we need to go to the multi-purpose, because some members may just want to come in as investors, not as savers. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abba. I was keen on listening to what your comments, because Abba also runs another SACCO, a successful SACCO, and he has been part of this NACOBA SACCO since inception as the mobilization secretary. Now, just my feedback as we close this, in the interest of time. One, I'm absolutely, it's absolutely important that we mobilize members, and NACOSAVE has done wonders. We just need to emphasize and drum more support for the NACOSAVE, and we are going to do that. We can't explain the whole strategy here, but we have a number of interventions towards that. Lucky enough, we have the NACOBA chairman, the big alumni, Alex. Alex, you've heard clearly. And members, for your information, we share so much. First of all, we are a son, or a daughter for that matter, to the bigger alumni. So we share an office. We participate in all these other activities for NACOBA as well. So we are in touch with them, and we shall be helping each other to see how we can mobilize members. Yes, the multipurpose SACCO, we are doing a lot of research towards that, and whatever best practices that we can get from those who have crossed over from an ordinary SACCO to multipurpose, we are studying, and we shall let you know when the right time comes. So members, with that said, I wish to close the chairman's remarks or report by a member proposing that we adopt the report as it is, with a few changes that have been proposed, and then another will second. Is there a member who wants to propose that we adopt the chairman's report with a few amendments as raised by the members? You tell us your name and then you go ahead.
Gilbert Amanya is my name. I propose that the chairman's report be adopted with the few changes that have been recommended.
Anyone seconding that? Your name and
Dale Vega Kauru. I second the motion as moved by Gilbert.
Okay. Thank you so much, members.
Amanya.
Thank you so much, members, for that. We are not going to waste any more time. We are going to move on to we were going to receive, review, and adopt minutes of the previous AGM, and that role is going to be played by my secretary, Mr. Sol Abok. Sol, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, let's move straight away to page 13 of the book, Minutes of the 6th Annual General Meeting held on 13th March. We shall move page by page, but I will not read. Just go through. Is your name there? Can someone give the mic to the president?
Thank you, Secretary. Just two things to point out. I attended virtually. My name is not there, Alex Asimwe. And also I see David Gimeo Nagmesi, apologies, but at the same time attended number 29. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. That has been noted. Can we move to page 14? George, I see you are not reading. Have you not gotten the... Oh, all right, thank you. Let's move to page 15. Let's move to page 16. Vice President Emeritus, are you on the same page with us? Yeah, for those who have issues, you can keep noting as we go along. Where you feel you have issues. Page 17. Those are figures. Page 18. David Kabala, are we on the same page? All right. Page 19. Page 20. Yes, Henry. Someone pass the mic to Henry.
Thank you so much, Chairman Katongole, for bringing that out. At the end of the meetings, I'm going to have a comment about that. We did some research about it, and we are going to comment after members' views on the whether the meetings are clear. We are going to make a comment.
I've actually found it. It's 14A. 14A on page 18. We had passed it. Thank you.
Okay, that has been noted. Can we go to page 20? Yes. Dale.
Mr. Chairman and fellow members who've been attending these meetings consistently, I want to give up on this issue unless you tell me a Companies Act amendment. Go to page 5. That document is signed, meaning it has been owned. Go to page 12. That document is signed. Somebody has owned it and is ready to answer. But come to page 20. The document is naked. There is no signature. Says go. So how is it going to be owned? It has got to be signed by the secretary, and after adoption, the chairman appends a signature and it becomes valid. But present, having it naked as it is, I'm not comfortable unless you convince me of a statutory amendment that allows this document to be naked as it is.
Thank you, member. Maybe can I simply clarify on that? I think, and I stand to be corrected, it may not be signed because of the different amendments. It can only be signed after members, after this meeting, and after members have for instance, the chairman of NACOBA has corrected his name, and another one who appears both as attended and not having attended. So the true reflection of the minutes will be signed and taken for a copy after the amendments of the members. Thank you so much.
That practice became effective. We in the old school know it was the chairman's signature after adoption that made them binding. I need to be educated. I may be in the old school, but if that is now the current practice, I will succumb and learn the hard way or adopt to change.
Okay, Mr. Lubega, we are going to correct that. You're going to get the signed copies. We are sorry about that. Thank you. Yes, Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think with that, with a few changes, unless someone has anything else to say.
Let me have the last word, Secretary. Chairman Katongole, as regards the multi-purpose SACCO, let us promise to get back to you members before the end of the second quarter. I think we are done with the minutes of the last year's AGM. Thank you so much, members, for your corrections, for your interventions. And Mr. Rubega, we shall consider what you've just told us to do. Yes?
Maybe I didn't follow. Weren't we supposed to look at those amendments and then you highlight what was done and what is still pending during the review of the minutes.
Which amendments?
That we did last year, the proposed amendments. In the minutes.
Yeah, you are talking about page 18, item number 14.
Okay, they are all those. Let me see. Recognize members without. Hold on. You know, I'm reading from the phone.
It's fine.
It looks like I'm becoming a kaulu also. Okay, it should be page 18, yes. Page 18, items 13 and 14. For example, you keep saying to consider the amendment of NACOBA bylaws and so on and so on. Aren't we supposed to get comments on these? What was done and what wasn't?
Yeah,
thank you so much. Victor, please come up. Members, go to page 18. Number 13, to consider the amendment of the NACOBA SACCO bylaws. 13. Now, what we did, we went back, given the recommendations of the AGM, the manager of the SACCO went to the ministry just to confirm. You remember, this has been coming back and forth for such a long time. Spouses and who is allowed to be part of the SACCO. It's part of the current students, and it came from Chairman Katongole's time, but it wasn't passed because they sent us back to do some research. We went and contacted the responsible ministry just to make a clarification so that we don't do the wrong things to this SACCO. And let me request Victor to give you what he got from, because it summarizes all those subsections. Victor?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. And then thank you, members, once again. About that item, I consulted with the Ministry of Trade and Cooperatives, and mainly with the District Cooperative Officer, who educated me about amendments. If you to amend an item in the bylaws, it must be indicated already in the bylaws. For example, our bylaws talk about shares, that our shareholding is the share per value is 20,000. So you have to state that we are changing from 20,000 to this. There must be an area in the bylaws that you are doing what? Amending. So he told me that the bylaws also talk about a membership profile, that the bylaws clearly show who a member should be, who a SACCO member should be. And it clearly shows that the members should be those that are defined by the membership profile as drafted and as approved by the what? By the society committee. So he told me that that is our mandate now, to revise our membership policy and include all the memberships that we do what we want to address in our membership policy. We should have talked about it in the chairman's report, but I should have skipped our preparation. But that is what I was advised to do, that our membership policy should clearly show who are the members of the SACCO. Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, members.
Just to comment what Victor said. So does that mean, because our SACCO says Namilyango Old Boys Association, okay, SACCO. So it means we have to go back to the association and look at what the association describes as a member to be included in the SACCO. So it dismisses the wives and so on, I guess.
Maybe what Victor submitted very well, the research. What now we should do is to go now, rephrase
our description of a member and say a Namilyango SACCO member is 1, an OB. 1, a spouse of an OB. 2, a child of an OB, or a undercurrent student. Then it takes that for the change. You have understood. So we need to ask to describe who our member is.
So do we change the name of the SACCO from?
No. Your name is.
The association. I thought it's supposed to start with the parent association because it's Namilyango Old Boys Association.
Yeah, the name can be anything. Mr. Andrew Abba Baguma can be a yellow man, a green man, a pink man. That is your business. As long as I've said, we can maintain the name. The name has nothing to do with the membership. But as long as we have said, how can you be a NACOBA SACCO member? 1, A, B, C, D. So once we have accepted that and we want those memberships, then he changes that. No, the name can stay. But that name will have many people can follow under it.
Let's give a chance to one member, Mr. Sekaja. Then Victor, you wrap it up, and then we adopt the minutes as they are. Sekaja?
Good morning, members. Rogers Sekaja Nambali is my name. 87 to 90, Mukasa House. Now, as per the discussion going on, I believe it's supposed to be an amendment, because what is required by the cooperatives, the district officer, returning officer, I think, is an amendment to the earlier one we put there. So we make an amendment to what we have changed, and we present that book as an amendment. I believe so. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Sekaja. Victor, you wrap it up. The treasurer is asking something, wants to comment on something before Victor.
Yes, thank you, members. I think the major point of contention here was on the voting rights, according to the research which we did. And that is, once we allow our spouses, children, and all other people to come into the SACCO, they will also have voting rights. So it cannot be what we had wished to hear, that they will have no voting rights. So that's now the issue. Should you allow them to have same voting rights with us, the members, or leave them out completely?
Victor, I think you have an answer to that as well.
Members, what I was going to say, the treasurer has hinted about it. The other query that the district cooperative officer posed to me was that, yes, in our resolutions over the last AGM, the members after passing the proposed memberships resolved that they shall not have shares, shall not have a shareholding, and therefore will not have voting rights, but they will access our products as defined by the lending policy, as guided by the lending policy. So now, according to the ministry, a member of any SACCO or any cooperative society should be a shareholder. So they posed to me that I should bring it back to the AGM for ratification, that clause. Either we agree that they can have any minimum shareholding, or they are full, exactly, they are full members or not. So, and they also queried me that at some point, when we bring on board our spouses, at some point they might call for the name of the change of the name, because Old Boys does not seem to represent them. That is what they posed to me, members. Okay, over to you, Chairman.
So, members, there we are. We are back to the catch-22 situation. Let me give a chance to
to Henry last, and then I'll give the last remarks on this. Very interesting.
Thank you, thank you. Through you, Chair, I think I'll thank the Treasurer for bringing that point out, because I think that is a sticky point. But having said that, I would like to put forward something. We are all mortal. At some stage, we will go back to the Lord. What happens in normal life? Who carries on our work after we are gone? It's our children, it's our spouses. In this spirit, I would like to call on the members of the SACCO that if we want to carry on, especially in our individual capacities through our biological affiliations, we should allow our families to join the SACCO. And now that we have been guided that they have to be members, let's be able to agree that they can be members and they can vote based on what we actually have in the SACCO as our guiding regulations, so that we can carry on, unlike what has been going on currently, where we lose a member, God forbid, and we pass on whatever they have saved to their next of kin, and we say bye to them. That is my submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chairman Katongole. I think, members, we need to draw this to a conclusion. Now, there are a number of issues that we need to resolve, okay? One, we have to be careful with what the law allows and what it doesn't, right? Are we on the same page? Now, let me give a chance to the Vice Chairman, okay, to give his remarks, and then we conclude this once and for all.
Chairman, sorry, I may not conclude this. This is a big matter that probably carries everybody's sentiments. Chairman, Henry, you submitted well. So the considerations there, whilst you have also said that, you should also ask, are we also prepared, as my friend said, that even we could review the name? So since Mrs. Ntanaga might also be a member someday, and she said, no, I'm not very happy with Old Boys Association. So we have to be, what I'm saying is, open to all those options now, if we open up. So, but then, for us, we are representing. If the majority say yes, the overwhelming interest is to include our spouses and children, then we should also be open to what the repercussions could be. I also thought maybe we could also narrow down the catchment area, if for practical reasons, and just say maybe existing students. Remember, we talked about increasing our mobilization catchment area, that perhaps we could sell the idea of current students being part of the NACOBA SACCO right from school, where maybe their parents contribute some money to them, for them. So, Chairman, I'm sorry, I don't know if we can conclude this matter, or you want to find a way we can conclude and move on it better.
Okay. Thank you so much. Members, this is interesting. Let me stand up. Now, this is my suggestion. Can we put this to the vote? And I will tell you what we are going to vote against. There are two things here. We have these affiliate members that we want to incorporate into the SACCO, okay? The current students, the spouses, yeah, and what else? And then the children, okay? But this comes with responsibility as well, okay? That once we incorporate them into the SACCO, they will have equal rights, yeah? Like all members. Voting rights, shareholding, the products. Am I right? Now, that also means, as we go along, we probably could need to change the what? Our name. Okay? So members, let's be democratic. Are we ready for all those repercussions if we vote yes or no? Just as the administrator or the manager sought clarity from the ministry. Because we can't have our cake and what? You can't want to say what to bring the spouses and the children, but they don't what? They don't vote. That has been cleared out. We can't say want to bring them in and maintain our name, as later it will be found out. So that is where we have found ourselves. Okay? So can we put it to the vote, or you refer it back to the executive to do more research and report back to you? Yes, the gentleman in specs, you haven't yet spoken. Can we give you a chance? Let's draw this to a conclusion, really.
Thank you. I'm Joseph Serwada, Doyle, 1982 to 85. My suggestion is that we throw this back to the executive and to digest it a bit further, because there are so many issues involved that need a little bit more clarity.
Okay. Thank you so much. Lastly, we are concluding this from your...
Thank you. My name is Medog Misa, 29 to 215, Campling. My opinion is we could probably discuss and weigh the benefits and the cost of having them on board, because one would ask, why do we need them so importantly? Because the other thing I would look at is our initial objective of forming, for example, the NACOBA SACCO. What was our vision and mission, and what holds us, what's our brand as the NACOBA SACCO? Because I believe our brand was, from the beginning, the common factor that we are all boys of the college, and we're uniting to keep in touch and network amongst ourselves. So if we're looking at changing that, then we need to discuss it further. I would propose we leave it, we don't conclude on it today. We could probably buy more time and discuss it in depth.
Thank you so much. Please. No, I just brought it as an alternative.
I think yes, we can vote on the issue. That's very easy. But are we ready to change the name of the SACCO? Because that is the condition. Me, I would suggest we shelve that issue. We focus on cleaning our home, our house. We have a backlog of inactive members. Okay, before we bring in other people who don't understand even us, okay, because their aim is they are going to look at the balance, the investment. You see, can we first consolidate the togetherness in the house? Okay, then we at the individual level, we can represent those people by forming our small saving groups in the home. So they save through you, because I've seen cohort members saving within us. Isn't that so? Yeah. So I think let's have things that are going, because that's going to come with more administrative roles.
Okay, Sekaja in a minute, and then Leo Lubega in a minute. Just give me a chance first. Just very briefly, and about the same issue.
Now, Mr. Chairman, my issue goes back to the name. The name won't change, because it's NACOBA which is fully registered. It's clear. It's fully registered as NACOBA. We are not going to go back to the company registry to change the name. That would be a different chapter. Okay. It will be a different thing altogether. Then, about the affiliation of the wives and the children, his suggestion is very clear. We have the cohorts which were incorporated the other year. They are now performing. If the children and the wives are to come in, yet we are even still failing to have the students who are still at college to come on board, because those are the future NACOBAs. We should be looking at how to facilitate NACOBA to be stronger, that having these new other members who are coming in, are they going to be more reliant, more reliable? Because he suggested we are motto, we go. Okay. But we are looking at the other younger generation who are going to be the future NACOBA, SACCO members. So are we bringing in these people who are going to be looking at us as we already have the money is already there, they have the money, are we going to be with them? How is the profit? Because most of these people are prudent enough. These days they are looking at SACCOs which are vibrant. Okay. This one is well managed. So I ran for it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sekaja. Lastly, and I'm going to give the last remarks from what has been.
Mine is just a point of information, but it will add substance. 1902, Namilyango College is opened as to train catechists. 1923, it is opened from catechists to educate sons of chiefs. 1929, it is delegated to the Brothers of Christian Instruction. They changed the name from Namilyango College to St. Aloysius College. 1932, the Mill Hill say, bring back our thing. It reverts to Namilyango College. What is my point? Since the college has gone through transformation, our SACCO is not exceptional. It will also go through transformations from strictly obese to open up to multi-purpose. So we are aware and we should be ready for that thing to happen.
Okay.
That is the point of information.
Thank you so much. Now, let me draw this to a conclusion. No, people, we need to conclude this. In a minute, please. And I'm going to conclude this.
Thank you, Chairman. I wanted also to highlight Kaulo's point that probably when we become a multi-purpose venture, it becomes easier to incorporate the others. But also importantly, I have a story because I run other circles, and I have a story where we have wives, and then there was one who divorced. I cannot reveal what happened, but we shall share.
Okay, members, we've given this is why we have the AGM anyway, okay? To make sure that we debate some of these things exhaustively. So it's time well spent. Now, as the chairman, okay, and allow me to draw this to a conclusion, let me suggest that for now, let's work on our core membership that we have. Let's make sure that we reach all the other thousands and thousands of members who are not yet part of the SACCO. Let's also make sure that the dormant members who we want to wipe off our lists become active again. But let's also not dismiss the fact that some members brought this suggestion. They had good intentions. So as we do this, okay, we are going to do more research. We are going to see what the law allows, how we can amend, what we can do, come back and report to you, so that in the next AGM meeting, we can have a conclusive summary about what we are discussing. So for now, let's concentrate on our low-hanging fruit, make sure that we activate as many members as possible, make sure that the dormant ones become active as we study to see how feasible, including spouses, including current students, as well as, which is the other one? Any other permutation, maybe teachers, as we so wish, okay? So that is my submission, and let me draw this to a conclusion. Thank you so much for your suggestions. Now, before we go into the auditors, I'm suggesting that a member, proposes that we adopt the minutes of last meeting with the changes that we've resolved here. Does any member who wants to? Yes, Sekaja? No, propose that we adopt.
I propose that we adopt.
Yeah, with changes?
With changes amended.
Okay.
But I'm reminding you, Mr. Chairman, that even the teachers at Namilyango are willing to join our SACCO, just because the message was, I'd forgotten it.
Yeah. He has actually already adopted. So anyone seconding, please you let us know about your name and then.
Seconded, Joseph Serwada.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, members, for all your deliberations. They've been really useful. Now, we are following the agenda. We are going to our next item. We don't want to lose time. We are going to receive, review, and consider the audited accounts for the financial year 2021 by our auditor. And the treasurer is going to take over the next two items as well. As the auditor comes, we would like to thank them so much. They did a good job. They've been moving together throughout the year. They don't only wait for the AGM, but they give us quarterly reports.
So our auditors, you're most welcome, and thank you for sparing your time for us today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and any government officials present, the board, and members of the NACOBA SACCO. My name is Augustine Lule, and I'm from Augustus Associates, who are the current auditors. I believe we are doing our second year. And we thank you for retaining us for those 2 years. We would also would like to tell you that we are available for the next year, the final year, possibly, for this time round. My colleague here who is taking the photograph from New Vision was in the AGM yesterday of New Vision SACCO. And, you know, just like Victor was saying, you know, he was talking about the interest rates that they are proposing. When you compare, say, New Vision SACCO with NACOBA SACCO, one is an employee SACCO, then yours is, I should say, very diversified. Whereas all of you are OBs, will notice that some OBs are working in the diaspora, while others are working in Kampala, and others are working up country. And you're doing different jobs. Some of you are medical, others are physical, and so on. You do various, others are not artisans, but in the arts or social scientists. So you do various jobs. And even the age groups, you notice that they are various. They're almost across the spectrum. So you as a group, when you get to the loans, your risks are so complex. So if you look at an employee SACCO, the employee SACCO, you know, the money comes, actually, you see, repayments are not a problem, provided somebody has not lost the what? The job. They are very easy. Even us, when we are doing our work for such a SACCO, it is easier. But for yours, it is a bit complex. So I think you should look at that issue of rates and look at also the way the committee was looking at the risks. So it is important for you to look at, when you're discussing, to discuss it in that context. Then also, if I'm to comment, you see, there is that issue of bringing the spouses on. It is a very good issue, but as one member said, it has its complexities. So there are very, very many SACCOs available, and some of you are in many of these SACCOs. So you may not want to change the form of this one. I'll just go to the financials. I believe you received them. On page 11, you have your statement of comprehensive income. You have your loan interest, which you were able to bring in 224 million this year against 169 last year. Then you also have investment income, investment interest income of 166 million against 61.7 last year. The interest expense is 200 million this year against 100 last year. Oh, for those who have the book, thank you very much, Elder. Those who have the book, it is page what? 29. Yes. Kindly look at page 29. The book was selectively given this time round to save costs. We don't want to print books and then they are not utilized. So the net interest income is 190 million in 2021 against 131 last year. You have fees and other incomes. You also have the provision for impairment. So the net income after loan loss provision is 227 this year against 119.5 last year. So that is an increase of 91%. It's an increase of 91%. Then when it gets to the expenditure, the expenditure this year was 119 million against 80.9 last year. So the expenditure increased also by 47%. Then when you get to the surplus is about 108 million in 2021 against 38.6 million in the previous year. So you can see your surplus has gone up by 177%, which is very stellar performance. We shall also look at the statement of financial position. The statement of financial position, our total current assets, as you can see, they went up from 1.84 billion to 2.76 billion. The major increments were due to an increase in investment in short-term funds, which is on the first line. And then also on the third line, there's a major increase in loans and advances from 1.05 billion to 1.63 billion. You can see that more people took loans this time, I believe, than previously. So that's why we have, I think, the increase. I believe it's not because of non-repayment. Well, that aside, you can see your total assets went up from 1.85 billion to 2.76 billion. That is actually, I should say, it is up by 50%. It went up by 50%. Then we also have the total current liabilities, part of which is actually the members' savings. That is your personal savings. The total current liabilities went up from 1.68 billion to 2.485 billion. That is an increase of 48%. And the substantial part of this was also on the savings. So you can see your savings went up from by 46%. That is very good. In fact, when you look at the savings and the loans, they all went up, and that was a very good performance. That means that you have that saving culture has improved, and you're also borrowing. That is what SACCOs are for. Saving, then you borrow. Well, the total equity and liabilities went up from 1.85 to 2.76. This is actually what the total assets also did go up by. So that is our statement of financial position. For the case of the statement of changes in equity, that one we may not delve into the detail, but all those figures on that statement of changes in equity feed into the equity section of the balance sheet. For the case of the statement of cash flows, this was a little bit more technical. However, it also assists us to look at how the how the changes in the cash flows occurred. And at the end of the day, you had cash and cash equivalents coming from 40 million to 110 million. As I end my presentation, I will draw you to the independent auditor's report. On mine, it is on page 8. Can someone help us where the independent auditor's report is? So that those who have the books can be guided. Independent auditor's report. Page 26. Oh, yes. I hope it's page 26. Okay. There is the opinion part. Under the opinion part, we have I don't know. Yes, it's page 26. Under the opinion part, in the first paragraph, we are, thank you very much, CPA. Thank you. On page 26, in the first paragraph, we are highlighting that we are auditing Namilyango College Old Boys Cooperative Savings and Credit Society Limited. And then we are also mentioning the year end, which is 31st December 2021. We are mentioning that we are auditing the statement of financial position, statement of comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, statement of cash flows. Actually, I think this was not the final edited. It should be for the year ended. And then the notes to the financial statements. And our opinion is that the accompanying financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of Namilyango College Old Boys Cooperative Savings and Credit Society Limited as at 31st December 2021, and its financial performance and cash flows should be for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards and the requirements of the Cooperative Societies Act as amended and Cooperative Societies Regulations 1992. I think this key audit matter is same as what we had raised the previous year. I will not delve into that. But I will also draw you to page 28. Page 28, where we have the report on other legal and regulatory requirements. And under this, we are saying that we obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. We are also saying that proper books of account have been kept by the society, so far as appears from our examination of those books. And the statement of financial position, statement of comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of account. We also believe that, and give our opinion that the business administration of the society has been conducted efficiently in accordance with the cooperative principles and in accordance with the bylaw objectives of the society, its bylaws, and any other decisions made by the annual general meeting. And my name is Augustine, and I'm the one who was in charge of this engagement, and my practicing number is 0169. Thank you very much. I'll be around to take any reactions, any questions. Thank you.
Mr. Augustine has done a good job. They always provide us with quarterly. They don't only come at the end of the year when we are preparing for the AGM, but they always come audit us on a quarterly basis. So thank you so much. Unless there are any comments, I wish that a member of the SACCO. Yes, Mr. Sekaja?
Hello? Thank you. Page 29. On this, on the interest expense, year ended 31st December 2020. I see there was an interest expense of 100 million. Then we come to year 2021. Still, I see an interest expense of item number 5, not 5, 200 million. So we basically earn and we spend that amount. Because I see there is loan interest income of 224 million, 112, 963 shillings. Then there's also investment interest income of 166 million, 62,418 shillings. Then below number 5, that's where my query is of 200 million still. I need some insight into this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Augustine, Just throw some more light on what interest expense is. And maybe that's where the problem is coming from.
I think this one, the treasurer should do what? Respond. It is not the auditor, I think.
Okay,
He can
thank you.
explain.
Yeah, thank you very much, members. The issue of the 200 million interest expense is actually the money we are giving out as interest to members from what we have been able to generate throughout the financial year. That's the money members are going to get as interest for their savings.
Let me also add, but I wanted it to come from the treasurer because he's aware. He's aware, because before these accounts are brought to you, we usually discuss them with the board or the executive committee. So actually, one of the members, although he has gone away, also provided us some comments on the financial.
Pay attention, Mr. Kalebe.
One of the members, Mr. Sebugwao, provided us with some comments on the financials, which we are going to take into consideration in our next audit. However, he also was asking about that interest expense. Now, the interest expense, because you save your money with the SACCO for over a long time, it is that money that the SACCO uses to lend to others or even to yourself. Part of the money which you get is part of your money. So when they use that money to generate the money, they also have to give you back some interest on the money that has been utilized to generate more funds. So the committee sits and analyzes the financials and then decides on an amount to be what? To be given back to you as interest. So that is how they arrived at 200. You can see that last year they gave back to you 100 million. When they saw that the performance had improved, they also had to increase on the interest that's been given back to you. So it is really to your advantage. We're not paying the interest to other people. It's not like the interest in Stanbic which you pay. When you pay to Stanbic for a loan, they take it to South Africa. But for you, it goes to your village. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Augustine, for that clarification. So people in the village should start celebrating now. Yes, George? Can you have the mic?
No, it's audible.
Oh, it's audible, okay. I'm not sure for the online people. Is he also audible?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Just clarity on that also on the interest expense. The message has also come in from NACOBA SACCO. It says, "Dear Sechiranda George, Dash has been credited on your savings account."
George, you have to pay for that because I thought I would release that news, but technology travels so fast.
Okay.
Some people know things happening in Kampala when they are in London before us.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, George. So members, without wasting more time, thank you, Augustine. You can take your seat. Can I think we've exhausted that report. Can I have a member propose that we second the auditor's report as it is? Yes, George, tell us your name and...
George Sechiranda, I second the auditor's report as discussed by the members. Thank you.
Okay, anyone seconding? Sorry, adopting?
Rogers Sekaja. I adopt.
Adopt.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Members, we are within time. We are going to make sure that much as we had so much debate and we started a little late, we are going to finish in time. But allow me to have a few comments. We don't need to forget people online. We have a number of people who are watching and following deliberately on virtual, on Zoom. And they have a few comments. maybe the treasurer will help me for those I will miss out. But Michael Chizito went back to the definition of a SACCO. I think he was alluding to the hot discussion we had about spouses, and so he was trying to take us back. What is the real definition of what the SACCO is, and for why did we form the SACCO? Then Matt Nalianya was proposing, he's saying that the 5% increment from 2 is a bit too high, okay, for the savings withdrawal, I think. He's thinking that we should leave it at 2%. We had closed that. I don't know, members, what, maybe we had, yeah, we closed it, but exactly. So we shall be telling you our deliberations. Someone is saying, I think Jingo Kasule, thank you for dropping the personal loan from 36%. So he's happy with the changes in the interest rates. Jingo again, is the loan going to be adjusted if I have a personal loan? He's wondering because of the new changes that are the interest rates going to be adjusted? No? I don't know if there are any comments. But we are taking cognizance of your information. People are happy with what we are discussing. Are there any other? Okay, we shall be relaying them as they come through. But we are also happy that we have members online, and we are privileged that you have us. You're joining this meeting. Now, can we go to the next item on the agenda? We are going to receive, review, and approve the 2022 financial budget. And I'd welcome our treasurer, Dennis Owori, to take us through that item. Dennis?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Let me just stand a bit, and I can also stretch my legs. Oversitting can be dangerous. So, members, I want to take us to page this is page 52. The words are a bit so tiny, and being a four-eyed man, I'm trying to see whether I can scan them properly. But in a nutshell, members, we hope to work a little bit harder from what we did in the previous financial year. So we are promising that in this coming year, we'll be able to go a little bit higher in trying to generate good returns for members. And if you look at our budget objectives for 2022, the first one is that we promise as a team to add a minimum of 150 members to the association. We also hope to achieve an operational self-sufficiency ratio of more or equal to 225%. We also hope to achieve an operational expense ratio of at least 26%. Of course, the more we spend, the less money we shall generate for members, so we hope to keep it at that percentage. The other one is that we hope to achieve a yield on portfolio of at least 36%. Then we also promise to achieve a return on average savings of at least 14%. We're hoping that in this coming financial year, which we are now in, we shall be able to provide you with more interest on your savings. We also hope to achieve a return on savings, on investment of, we hope to grow the loan book to about 2 billion. I think you can all see that we started with the 1.622 billion. If you just go down to the table, hope to grow that amount to about 2 billion. We also hope to grow member savings to 3 billion. We're at about 2-point-something billion now, but hope to grow that savings, if the savings culture can continue, hope to grow to about 3 billion. And then, of course, we hope to grow members' equity to about 500 million. We're at about 450 million now. We hope to grow it to about 500 million. Then we hope to pay a monthly stipend of 400,000 for our executive team for the good work they are doing. Of course, the details are in the table, which is just below. But you can look at the promises we are making up, and then this is how now we are going to do it. If you go to the table below. On the side of total loans, we hope to grow, as you can see from let's say January. We hope to grow it month by month. In January, we hope it to be at 1.740. It grows to 1.748. It grows to, we hope to keep growing that loan disbursements we're making to members. And of course, at the end of the day, we also hope that our total income per month, money which we are bringing in terms of interest from members, will also be growing from 32 million to about 45 come December. And if you total all that money that we will expect be coming in, we hope to generate an income, total income of 437 million 335 594 at the end of the year. But of course, as we're generating this money, we also expect to make some expenditures. And in total, if you look at the last column, the last column of page 52, we expect to make to spend at least 135 million 862 780. And of course, if you remove the expenditures from the income which you have generated, you expect to make a net income of 301 million 472 914. And members, if our plans go as far as expected, then surely I think we hope to perform better than we did in this financial year. So members, I think that's what I can show you, or I can present to you. If there are any points of discussion, we can try and discuss, but basically, this is how we intend to invest your money and also make some money for you. Thank you so much. Any remarks?
Thank you so much, Treasurer. Before you take your seat, members, can you react to the Treasurer's budget? Are we comfortable? Any comments? Any reservation, comments? Okay, thank you so much, Treasurer. You can take your seat. Can we have a member in the room to members? Yeah, any comments? Any comments before we move on? Can someone propose that we adopt the budget as it is? You tell us your name and then go ahead and propose. Yes, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Henry Katongol is my name. I propose that we adopt the budget as presented to us.
Okay. Thank you, Henry. Anyone seconding him? His hand?
I do second.
Okay. Thank you so much. The name?
Rogers Sekaji.
Okay. Thanks so much, Rogers. Let's move on to the next item on the agenda. We are going to consider reappointing of the auditors. Now, we've been with the auditors. This is their last year of serving. In case you consider them for another year, they will have exhausted their term limit, and we are not intending to extend that. We are not going to abrogate the bylaws. So this is the right time for us to vote and consider them to audit our books for this financial year 2022-23. Anyone opposing that, members? I think they've done a very good job, and they are into their last year of service to the NACOBA SACCO. They are a very experienced audit firm, and they audit a number of SACCOs, one of them being the New Vision SACCO. So we have a lot of confidence in them. They do quarterly reports, and they always consult us whenever they are not comfortable. So I move that we consider them for their last term or their last year. Anyone seconding that? Yes, give us your name again.
Joseph Serwada, seconding.
Thank you so much, Joseph.
George Sechiranda, seconded.
Okay. Adopted. So the first gentleman, I think we adopt, then Sechiranda is seconding you. Thank you so much, auditors, and we wish you good time, and we know you're going to end your term very successfully. Members, we are moving well. Don't worry about time. Now I will call upon the secretary to give us the resolutions of this meeting. Read to the members the resolutions that we've agreed upon so that they are passed.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolution number 1 is a evaluation of shareholding. We've agreed that we increase the shares from 20,000 per share to 90,000. And that the share per value be adopted with a minimum of 5 shares per member, equivalent to 450,000. The maximum number of shares for any member be capped at 170 shares, equivalent to 15.3 million, which is 30% of the share capital as per the SACCO bylaws. The new joining fee becomes a minimum of 5 shares worth 450,000 and a minimum savings deposit of 50,000 and a membership fee of 10,000. The minimum joining requirement on shares may be paid either at once or within a period not exceeding 6 months. Then resolution number 2, revision of the SACCO loan interest rates. Members, I don't need to read this again, but if you check on in the book, personal loans will be at 15% per annum and 18% depending on the guarantee. Business loan at 17 per annum, construction loan at 20 per annum, salary loan 20%, land loan 17%, Kagwirawo 7% per month, and school fees loan at 15% and 18%. Then resolution number 3 is a cap on savings withdrawals, and we've agreed that, we've chosen 3 members to come and to discuss this and then get back to members. Resolution number 4 is a proposed interest and dividend payment of for 2021 of 200 million shillings for the financial year ended 31st December 2021 to members' savings. That is 10%. Resolution number 5 is a dividend payment of 4.637 million to the shareholders for the same year. I think that is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary. Members, is there anything that we've deliberated upon that he hasn't captured in terms of amending the bylaws? Have we left out anything or recommendations? Yes, Chairman.
The commitment from the executive that you will report back to the members in the second quarter on the issue of the SACCO becoming a multi-purpose. I didn't hear him mention it.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. I think he never mentioned it. We are going to do that for sure, but I think it's not supposed to be part of the resolutions. It's not a resolution. But we shall indeed report to you back before the end of the second quarter. So can I then have a member adopt the resolutions and then another one seconding? Perhaps different from the usual ones that we've had. Yes, there are some people raising up their hands.
Alex Asimwe, I propose we adopt the resolutions.
Okay, thank you, Alex. And anyone seconding him?
Rogers Karebi, I propose that I second that we adopt the resolutions.
Yeah, he is. Okay, thank you so much, gentlemen. Did you want to say something, Mr.? No? Okay. Okay. So we are moving to the next item on the agenda, and that's recognizing of members with outstanding performance and commissioning of the chairman's call. Now, gentlemen, if you realize sometimes we failed to recognize people who perform above average or above others. Now, over time, some of these SACCOs perform better when members are inspired. Now we have gentlemen who have really raised the flag of the SACCO in terms of saving, in terms of borrowing, and they honor their loan obligations. We have members who are very good at mobilizing. You've been hearing about the NACOSAVE. There are people who come on there and they mobilize a lot of money within a week, within a month. And this translates into the amount of money that we invest for you, that we lend to you, that makes the SACCO vibrant and strong. Now, allow me, Victor, I don't see the gentleman here, but allow me in a special way to recognize Mr. Bernard Owundo. He hasn't turned up today, but Bernard Owundo, even last year, he has done it consistently, and he has been the most consistent saver of the SACCO. He has actually given the most amount of money in terms of savings. So we have a special gift for Bernard Owundo. Unfortunately, he's not here with us, but we shall pass on that gift to him. But even in absentia, can we give him a very big round of applause? He has been very consistent, and for the second year running, he's had the biggest savings. Let me also recognize we have members who consistently save. Actually, some of them never miss any NACOSAVE every week. We have members like Dennis Bisase, Dr. Dennis Bisase. We have Kato Kaizi. We have Peter Odochi, he was here but he left. Kasozi, our former chairman. Mr. Martin Alianya. We have James Rwanga, Paul Idude, Nagimesi Gimei. Sometimes he skips, but he makes sure that he mobilizes other members quietly so that they save. We have Eugene Tananga, our vice chairman. Alan Mukasa from the diaspora. We have our treasurer, Dennis Owori. And Luke Francis Chiwanuka. I think I saw him around. Now, these ones have just been mentioned, but there are so many people who really make NACOSAVE a joyous activity. And members, I would like to urge you all, this is the best way, and actually many other circles are copying that model of ours. Yeah? You remember people were not saving until we came up and with the former chairman, we came up with an idea of how we can encourage members to save. But I can tell you that has worked wonders for us. We intend to intensify it. My only prayer is for the numbers to increase because we're having the same number of people and the same faces doing the savings every week, and yet we have so many members. So if we can at least have a minimum of 50 members save, that would be wonderful. So don't give up, please. This is your money, and as you could see, the SACCO can only grow when you're saving, when you're taking up the loan products. We've had a long debate about the loan products that we have. We are trying to see that it works for both of us, you the members as well as the SACCO. Okay? And we have our ears on the ground. We always hear your comments. Whenever you give us advice, we consider it and see how best we can pass it on for you. So members, thank you so much for this. Unfortunately, the Ondo is not around, but we shall pass on that award to him in subsequent meetings with him. Now, let me also use this chance. I don't normally want to dictate and to consider this, but can I delegate this to my vice chairman? We are going to launch the chairman's call. Now, what happens with the chairman's call is every AGM, members commit to paying 1 million shillings, and that goes to the chairman, a minimum of 1 million shillings. It goes to the chairman's bag. This doesn't belong to, the money doesn't belong to the chairman. It is part of your savings, but again, it's a way of us encouraging members to save. Okay. Yeah, so this remains your money, okay? Only that we try to raise more funds and we make it a fun activity. So members are going to propose that you all contribute 1 million shillings, of course by word of mouth. It's not like a declaration from the chairman. And now that we've incorporated the issue of shares, shareholding, it is going to be very, very big to increase our capital. Probably we will have a cap of 170 shares, and each share, the per value of each share is 90,000. So members are willing, or willing members are going to tell us today how many shares probably they can start with as a way of raising money for the SACCO. But this again goes to your account, okay? So let me delegate. I don't want to say so many things as the chairman. And now I'm torn between choosing the vice chairman and our former chairman, Mr. Katongole.
You already chose.
I already chose. Okay.
But I want to also delegate. No, maybe to start off, I think it is only right that the executive goes first. And once they have gone, I am going to humbly ask my elder and good friend, Mr. Joseph Serwada, to do that task for me, to mobilize the other members. So, Mr. Chairman, we have had all your good speeches. Now we need your wallet. Chairman's bag, 2022-2023.
Hope someone is noting these things because we keep following up. I will. Yes, I'm the big drum. Okay, I pledge 2 million shillings on chairman's call, and I will buy 50 shares before the end of this year. That comes to 4.5 for the shares and 2 million shillings for chairman's bag. Thank you so much.
Well done, Chairman. Dennis, do you have something to say?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I think as the treasurer, I must show cause. And I commit to invest 5 million by the end of the financial year. 5 million. Part of it will go to the shares, part of it will go to my savings.
Thank you very much, Treasurer. Saul?
Thank you, Vice Chair. I'll commit 3 million. 1 will go towards chairman's bag. 1 million.
So Saul is saying 1 million chairman's bag, 2 million shares. Chairman's bag, 10 million, 2 million shares. Myself. Mr. Serwada.
Thank you. I think we use what we've been doing before. The paper will go through and everybody registers, and the money, the name and the money you are contributing. Let me also start off from where my younger brother stopped. I will also do 10 million. And part will go to the shares, part to the savings. We are with you.
Yes, gentlemen, thank you, my elder. Chairman's call, I pledge to put in 1 million, and also I'll buy 20 shares by end of year. If all goes well, I can always increase.
I've really not saved, I must confess, but I have to wake up. I will begin with shares 450,000 this year. I really endeavor to wake up.
Thank you once again, Chair. Rogers Karebi is my name. I might most likely be the Mupia here, but I commit to the chairman's bag of Ekakaire plus 10 shares before the end of this year.
My name is David Kabara. I commit to contributing 20 million shillings, and 5 will go into the chairman's bag and the 15 will go into shares.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Henry Katongole, Chairman's call 12 million, shares 1 million.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Medo Gumisa. Chairman's call 1 million and 5 shares.
Sekaja Rogers. I'll be able to make 500,000 shillings.
George Sechiranda Diebo, Chairman's call 1 million, shares 1 million.
Andrew Kasozi, Chairman's call 1 million and 50 shares by the end of the financial year.
Thank you. Chairman's bag 1 million and 5 shares.
Ranga James, chairman's bag, 1 million shillings, and then 50 shares at the end of the financial year.
Lincoln Wasima, chairman's bag 1 million, then the 2 million will be for the shares.
Ronnie Muisaka. I'll contribute 1M chairman's bag and 2M shares at the end of financial year.
I think that's all. Those are online. 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 Luka Tanabakoge.
For me, I'll split 1 million shillings, 500 to chairman's call and 500 to the shares.
We are done. Online only.
Has Sekaja contributed as well? Okay. So sometimes the priest forgets to put the... So, members, I would like to thank you so much. The money that we've been pledging is not little money, okay? The only trick is fulfilling our what? Our pledges. We've instituted this, the issue of increasing the share value, the per value of the shares. We are increasing the amount of the shares that someone can hold. All this is your money, and you'll be earning interest and dividends as well. So whatever you're pledging will earn you money. Now, before we conclude this meeting, I would like to give a chance to the NACOBA chairman, Mr. Alex Asimwe, to say a few words. We shall have a closing prayer, and then I'll adjourn the meeting. Yes, Luke? There's a microphone that side.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Sorry, Chairman, for bringing this up, but usually, every Lenten season, willing NACOBA SACCO members do an alms-giving activity. And usually that money is collected by Luke Francis Chwanuka. I've been spearheading this activity, and I want to thank all the members who have tried, not who have tried, members who have given money. This year we are going to support an organization called Teens Moms Voices, and I still request members, if you can, drop in something towards almsgiving. I'll be delivering the goodies before Easter. Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, thank you so much. Chwanuka has been passing on that communication on our WhatsApp group. Please feel free. Anyone who feels touched can go on the private numbers are there. His numbers, his contacts are there. So if you feel you want to give to that organization, please, you can respond to that message on the WhatsApp. I'll give a chance to the NACOBA chairman. But before we leave, members, don't forget we have some goodies. Let each one move away at least with 2 items, because we brought this for you. And the profits will go back to the SACCO. So let me give a chance to the NACOBA chairman to deliver his message. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon, members. I would like to express thanks and also appreciate the work the SACCO committee is doing. Only people who have served on an executive understand the time that executive members put in. And when we look at these figures of the sums, we get encouraged. The only problem for us as NACOBA is when the fraternity sees these figures, they assume that we are in charge of those figures. So they come to us telling us, NACOBA, you should do this. But we always remind them these are not our funds, these are savings of the fraternity. On our side, we continue to copy or to pick a leaf out of a few things that the SACCO is doing. As NACOBA, as the association, we are also trying to put our house in order. At the last AGM, we were tasked with a number of things to ensure, and we also promised that our 2 main goals in the first year will be stabilizing our financials. Our financial statements are not that interesting or that positive, and we are working on that. We also promised to work on our visibility. whatever you do, people must see you working. And we've hit the ground running. We've already started on the development of the strategic plan, the new one. And there was overwhelming desire to work on our membership fees. I think when you looked at the financials, you realized there was nothing to do with subscription. We asked the SACCO committee to put hold on collection on membership fees because in the next 2 weeks, we are going to have an extraordinary AGM where we are going to discuss membership fees and also other constitutional matters that you asked us to work on at the last AGM. In terms of shares, President Emeritus was tasked that NACOBA should have the first certificate, and in the last meeting, we agreed as the executive that as soon as the share value is announced, we are ready to purchase that first certificate. In terms of how many shares, you know this is an association. We have a meeting on Tuesday. We shall decide on how many shares. That is not a decision I make unilaterally. Lastly, today Namilyango is supposed to be celebrating 120 years. But because of the COVID and the lockdown restrictions, the college decided to postpone the celebrations. A date has been agreed, which is May 28th. We are hitting the ground running again. We have a lot of work to do in the first 6 months. We are going to prepare, we shall be communicating, and we expect to see very many OBs at our college on the 28th of May. Lastly, as I said, we've been copying a few things. The NACOBA Association has employed an administrator. That has been our Achilles heel in every work we've been trying to do, and we have a lady who we shall introduce next week, and she's starting work on Monday. So we expect that you'll be seeing a lot of work that we are doing, and please continue supporting the association. We are going to also continue drumming for people to continue joining the SACCO, because the growth of the SACCO is also the growth of the fraternity. We all serve the same people. Thank you very much. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you.
Members, as get-together prefect, when the economy was opened up, we resumed our get-together gatherings at Shell Club. And Campling House did it. In February, they hosted us, and they delivered. Now, March, we had no house on schedule because of the Namilyango Day. Now, come last Friday of April, Mr. President Mukasa, Magic Mukasa, we are expecting. And then Mr. SACCO Chair, they've told you Namilyango Day is 28th May, 27th, the Doilers are expected to. 27th May, yes.
Because of the so many changes, we are going to share a new calendar schedule we've tampered with some dates. So we shall be sharing the new calendar soon.
Okay, then House Mukasa, April, we expect you. Okay,
Mr. Rebecca, you'll have to pay for that. You smuggled in something that I never saw coming. But members, I wish to thank you sincerely. Okay? I want to thank you so much. These days there are so many conflicting programs. Actually, people now prefer getting these meetings from home. Okay? Okay, the treasurer is showing me here. Someone has Mr. Jingo Kasule. He has pledged 1 million shillings to the chairman's bag, and he will buy 10 shares. For those members online, we shall still, I think I'll extend this to anyone who hasn't been around and wants to pledge. I'll do the chairman, I'll pass it on at the WhatsApp group and even virtually. So I want to thank you all members for coming for this AGM. I don't take it for granted. What I can pledge on behalf of my executive and the administrative staff is that if we work together,
we are going to reach great heights. The lockdown, we can't underestimate the power of the lockdown. Okay? People really, really sweated. People really suffered. People really, really had their businesses retrogress. Okay? So whatever we've done is just amazing. But we hope that the year runs well. If you know, this is also our last term. This coming year is our last term. So we want to live with a bang, as you know. So when we come to you, because you're our members, you're the ones who contribute to the NACOSAVE, you're the ones who borrow the money, you're the ones who attend our meetings, you're the ones who criticizes us. So we welcome all that, and we shall expect a greater job. This is the last one, members. Don't underestimate the SACCO. I've had so many comparisons. NACOBA SACCO is among the top 3 top schools SACCOs in the country. And we are mentioning SMARC, we are mentioning Namagunga, Budo, including all those schools. So whatever we are doing, we can't take for granted. We are doing a great job, and we are being benchmarked by so many other schools. I'm often asked to go for talks. Recently, we had Laibi. They are trying to do the same. We have so many colleges that want to emulate us. Okay? So whatever we are doing is good, and let's continue in that spirit. Before we fire adjourn this meeting, let me again remind you, we have some memorabilia and branded items. Please, each one go with at least 1 or 2 items. We also have the closing prayer, which James Wanga prepare for the closing prayer. But I would also encourage you, after I adjourn the meeting, kindly stay around. Our former chairman, Mr. Katongole, always has very good ideas. Apart from the saving and the investing and coming for the AGM, we need to meet as business people, as friends to network. So after adjourning the meeting, kindly stay for about 20 minutes. Chairman Katongole will say a few words on how we can inspire us to work better this year, and then we shall exchange business ideas as well. Yeah, I don't know, we also have the expo. Maybe Victor will throw some more light after this meeting. But I would like once again to thank you so much for coming, and I would like to pass on the microphone to James to give us the closing prayer, and then I will adjourn the AGM. George, you have something? Yes? Who has the mic? For those of you who don't know, we have an office, and actually we share an office with the NACOBA consultants and also the NACOBA alumni. We are on, just most of you know Shaka Zulu. The building opposite Shaka Zulu is called Hamis Mukasa Building. It's a new building, Campling Road actually. So please don't hesitate, we are here to serve you. We have an administrator there. They are always working to make sure that they look after your needs. Yes, George? In a minute.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. What wouldn't we go without thanking our executive committee for the tremendous work you've led us through the previous year. Thank you for the commendable work. It is a very sound committee. When you need something from there, you know that, yeah, they're really sound and really tough. Thank you very much. We are so grateful on behalf of the entire committee, and we hope for another successful year. Just a word of thanks.
Thank you so much, George, for that compliment. And the executive, thank you so much for working closely with me, as well as the administrative staff. Members, we can't thank you more. Before James maybe says a prayer, I also want to thank all the members who have been online. Technology had failed us in the beginning because of the sound, but I'm sure we came on. Sorry about that mishap. But we've seen your comments. We shall take them into consideration. And for those who want to pledge and haven't been able to do it, I'll communicate through the WhatsApp group. So thank you so much, members. I can't take your presence for granted. Let's all work towards the success of the SACCO, and I know it will reach greater heights. James?
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you for whoever is present here today. Let's humble ourselves for the prayer. Dear Lord, we thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for the NACOBA fraternity. We thank you for those who are present today. Father, we thank you for the executive committee. We pray that you continue to guide them, give them wisdom to drive this SACCO to greater heights. Lord Father, we thank you for many other things, including our lives, what we able to lay our hands on. Father, we pray that you bless us as we go back to our respective places. We like to commit the families of those OBs who've lost dear ones, oh Father. We pray that you comfort them and you continue to bless them. Dear Lord, we pray for wisdom, we pray for good health, and we pray for many other things as well. Oh Father, all this I've prayed in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you so much, James. And members, at that, I would like to adjourn this meeting. Thank you so much for coming, and now you can mingle and mix and network at leisure. Don't leave those items. For those of you who want some good investment wisdom and the expo, please, Henry, come and take over this particular seat. This is very good advice that you may want to seek. Okay? So thank you so much, and I'm wishing you all the best in this year.
Thank you, members. This is not a formal one. This is informal. I don't know if all of you know that we have the NACOBA marketplace where members post their wares, and some of us have been able to buy from there. So we think that we can strengthen this and take it to the next level. If we can get to know what everybody does, I'm sure I asked all members to come use this opportunity to display their wares or talk about what they do, so that we can be able to support each other. And if we do support each other, then we will actually make the SACCO stronger. This is also another important one, because the members who are doing business, like I'm seeing my brother here, I take my car for washing to his washing bay. I was there to have it sprayed. So let's get to know what we do so that we can be able to support each other. I'm going to start with George. George, come forward. Whenever I have land that I have purchased, George is the surveyor. Actually, last weekend I had to go to Hoima to survey some land, and it was George. So my money for surveying goes to George. So George, please tell us about what you do. Then in that order, we'll have members tell us about where we find you, tell us your numbers, such that we can take note of this and we work closely together.
Thank you very much, Henry, for this opportunity. My name is George Sechiranda Adiebo. I'm a land surveyor by profession. I work with the Ministry of Works and Transport, but I also do surveying in the private practice. My areas of specialization are land surveying, documentation, anyone who needs to do verification on land, let it be transfers, let it be boundary opening, let it be dispute resolution in terms of boundaries. We do offer all those services. On the engineering side, let it come to as-built drawings for roads. Road designs, we have teams that we work with, and we can deliver an efficient and reliable service to you, geographical information systems, and all that we do. I thank you very much for the opportunity you've given to me. So anyone in the need of land and valuation services, we do offer that, and we are available at your disposal. The telephone number is 0703 297 048, and then 0784 304 888. Location, Old Port Bay Road, near Lufla. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Can we have, who's next? Come tell us about what you do.
Good afternoon, members. I'm Medo Gumisa. I'm seeing people. Good afternoon, members. I'm Medo Gumisa. I'm actually glad to meet with George Sechiranda, because Coincidentally, we are in the same profession. I'm a land surveyor by profession, into both engineering surveys and cadastral surveys, doing boundary openings, subdivisions, dispute resolutions, and the likes. Thank you.
Hello, members. Whoever has some business to tell us what you do. We have members online who are watching, and they are taking notes.
Here. Grace. Here. Luke Francis Chwanke again. I work with Hustle Media, and today we've been honored to do the live streaming. So we are into live streaming and events management. Please, you can contact us. Our number is 0702 180724. Anytime, we shall be able to serve you well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Luke. Hustle Media, so streaming services, photography, videography, functions. Please recommend our brothers. When you have wedding meetings, parties, let them do the business.
Yes, good afternoon to everyone. My name's Chris Innocent Balibola. I deal in suits. I tailor all sorts of suits, and for weddings, for all venues. You just want the luxury party outfits. If you're looking for what to wear for a party and you have no idea, please contact me. Let me be your fashion guide through all your your wardrobe. Yes, thank you. Give us your number. My number, it's 0700 13 7254, and I'm located behind Formatic Mall, Block 2, room number 1. Yes, that's Chiwatule, Najela Road. Yes. Chris Innocent Balibola. Thank you.
Sola Bok is my name. Members, you very well know that I deal with ITS. That is OD just at the back there. Most of you have been healthy. You can ask Chairman Katongole. He has been a very good client of OD. And then I also have Hane. For most of you who want to boost your immunity, just go at the back of the room. You'll find us there, and you very well know that I'm located just a call away. That is 0706 600 282. 600 282. Thank you. Sol Abok.
Hello, it's Nicolas Sentongo. I'm very honored to be here, talking to you guys. I'm just here to introduce my business. My business is an all-in-one garage. It's a workshop. You probably have seen it on the NACOBA forums. I'm always on there advertising our services. You're all welcome to come and see us. We are located in Bukoto, along the Bukoto-Kisasi Road, not very far from Lajola Gardens. Please feel free. I'll put something on the group, again, advertising our location. A lot of our services are on our website. There's quite a lot that we do. As I said, we are a one-stop shop for all your car needs. There's a 24-hour recovery service. We do sell tires, new tires and used tires as well. There is a washing bay. We also have, we do body works and we spray cars as well. There is a fully fledged tire clinic where we do wheel alignment, wheel balancing, tire changes. And also we do general servicing and general mechanics. Things like computer diagnostics. We do, we have an AC filling station on site to fill your broken AC, and we do AC repairs. We do things like wiring. We do brakes, exhausts, all of that, you name it, anything to do with your car, we do it. And there is also a spare parts shop. So we deal in both Japanese and European spares as well. And there's also a waiting area there with Wi-Fi. So while we work on your car, you can come and work in the sitting area. Thanks again, guys. I will put something on the NACOBA forum relating to our business. There is an OB's discount on there as well. So please come through whenever you can. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else who wants to tell us about what they do? Okay, I think we are done. And we believe that we will take this to another level, hoping we will work together.
Yes, thank you so much, Chairman Emeritus. My name is Dennis, the Treasurer. In my free time, I also do some auditing. So those of you who want to get loans from the bank, can organize your books. If you have got business, can organize your books. And I'm just situated at Span House, just next to Workers' House. My number is 0772 506427. Thank you.